is going on, everybody? It's the one and only JR, aka Man013, and you're now tuned into the Room 013 podcast. We are on episode 41. Oh my goodness. Just saying that and thinking about the next episode and so on and so forth. It's just ridiculously crazy to me. Like, it's crazy. Now, 41 may not be a high number, but 41 is a high number. 41 is up there. Like, some people only make it to episode 5, 7, 13, 11, 20. Room 013 is at episode 41. Shit is crazy. By the way, happy February. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Only 12 more days. 2 weeks for day 13 giveaway number 2 of 2019. But yo, listen, 41, shit is crazy, man. It is crazy. I just cannot. It's wild. It's crazy, you know. And I see the listeners, you know, the statistics, you know, all of that. The listeners, people giving the thumbs up, and it is fucking insane. You know, when I first started, I did not have this. I didn't see it going this far. I didn't see this format being the formula, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see it like initially being this way. Like years ago, I started a podcast. It was called The Radio Menace years ago. And I want to say like 2009, 2010. And yeah, I think that I only did like about 3 episodes. I think that I only did like about 3 or 4 episodes. And at the time, I was juggling. Doing the podcast, doing the YouTube thing, and participating on game battles, you know, with the clan, you know, gamebattles.com, the clan wars and shit. And working full time. And it was so much was going on. And back then, the PC that I had, wait a minute, first did I start on, when did I start on? I think I was, the PC that I had, well, it wasn't Radio Menace, bro. Because this is back when Cash came out with, okay, so yeah, I had a Dell. Yeah, I was using a Dell back then. But, yeah, it was just crazy. Like, I was just so much things I was doing. And then on YouTube, I was on the YouTube heavy, uploading, boom, 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 boom. It was like I had 3 fucking jobs. YouTube, upload, boom, boom, boom. Video review, this, boom, 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 boom. The game battles. Man, I had so many restless nights, so many times I done fell asleep in the fucking party chat in the game. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, yo, back then there was no party chat. So on the PlayStation 3, well, they had the party chat, but you couldn't, what am I saying? They had the game chat. So, like, that's the only way. You know, we were playing all the games. We were playing the games. We were all in the same game. You could hear each other. But if you're playing something else, you ain't going to hear somebody. But yeah, that was so much shit going on, and I think I did it on about like 3 or 4, like I said, and then Libsyn, I don't know what the fuck happened to this. I don't even know why they still have a Facebook page. Do people still use Libsyn? I don't know. Like, did they crash or something? But anyway, they stopped hosting. They stopped hosting everything, like for everyone's podcast. And then I was like, well, fuck. I guess that's it. And then once it stopped, once I was unable to like upload, I was like, well, damn. I guess this is it. And I couldn't even log in. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't log in. They didn't send me no email, no nothing. And I just left it like that. And the shit was still up there even after they closed or whatever happened. The shit was still up there. But then on it never continued. I never made a new account, went to a new hosting. Never. So I still have that Dell computer. I'm pretty sure if I was to turn it on, I would still have those files and the shit's still in my iTunes. But yeah, that's when I originally first started. That's when I first started that shit. Like I said, I used to do freestyles all like on every single beat that I could possibly find. I used to make parody songs. I used to do fucking music videos. I used to do all of that. And it was that and then game battles, and then it was just like another full-time job. It was just crazy, hectic. Well, episode 41, like you have to be dedicated and you have to be consistent, you know what I'm saying? And you have to always have something fresh and new. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Fucking, I think way back in like episode 10 or 9 or whatever, and some shit, I was like so caught up. I was like, damn, okay, what is my next episode gonna be about? Who is gonna be the next guest that I interview? Who am I gonna, it was just like so, I was like, damn, next episode, what's happening next? You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. And like back in the beginning, if you go listen to episode 1 and 2, I think episode 1 and 2 were my I think 1, 2, and 3, or just 1 and 2. The ones without the guests in the beginning, it was like, I think those were like bad. If I could go back and do it again, I would record, and the fucking mixing was, I just messed up on the mixing. And on those episodes, I was up late, super late at night. And I believe those episodes were, those 2 episodes, I recorded them like back to back, or like a day in between. And I didn't really have like an upload in, like a scheduling upload. I was like, okay, boom. Okay, let me put this up. Let me put this up. Let me put this up. And there's a couple of times where I actually did episodes with people and have them saved, and then boom, they're just ready to go the next week or the next day. You know what I'm saying? Now it's either 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how my regular week goes, I usually have to do the episode before the upload date, or actually on the upload day, early in the morning, or super late at night. You feel me? Rare instance where it drops like in the middle of the day, or just like before noon, unless I'm not doing, there's nothing going on outside of room 013. You know what I'm saying? But for those of people that's trying to get into starting your own podcast, I say go for it. It's pretty much I feel comfortable. Like, you know, if you're doing YouTube, you have to be, you at least have to wear a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can know wearing no pants under their boxes. But so like this, I could just be recording an episode naked, butt ass naked, recording an episode and just chilling. You know, episode 1. I think when I was in episode 1 reading listener email, I was just like, I got out of the room where the whole setup is. I got out of the room, switched over to mobile recording, and I was just in my living room in the Lazy Boy recording, just chilling. And you can tell, you listen, you can really tell I was so relaxed and about to fall asleep. Just the tone of my voice, you could tell I was so relaxed and get ready to fall asleep. I was just reading slow and I was just relaxed. So I'm saying, so like, you could be in any setting. There was a couple, no, actually it was only two episodes before I really started getting, you know, into the double digits, that there's this place downtown that they let you you can actually use their studio. You can use their studio to record. Like, it's an actual like radio station. They'll let you use your studio to record. They even help you set up your podcast if you don't have one set up already. So I'm saying, if you're interested in getting into the whole podcasting thing, I say go for it. It's a fun hobby. It's great. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this to become famous. I don't do this for money. I do it because I enjoy doing it. It's what makes me happy. If I know I'm reading someone's email, the fact that people who don't even know me feel comfortable to email me and ask me for advice, that says something. You know what I'm saying? We could connect on so many different levels, whether it's whether it's something relatable with like video games or movies or sports, TV, life experiences. If you can relate, if I can get that connection with you guys and you can relate, that I'm doing a good job. I'm happy that you guys feel comfortable to email me, ask me these things and whatnot, you know, because I don't know you guys. I don't know all my listeners. I know some of them, you know. There's repeat emailers that, you know, there's repeat listeners that email me from time to time. And then there's family members, friends, but everybody else, like, I don't know everybody, you know what I'm saying? To me, you know, you guys are an extended part, super extended part of my family, and I'm to you a voice. You guys don't know me, I don't know you, but with this, you'll get to know me. We will become friends, and it'll progress. You feel me? So, yeah, if you're into getting a podcast, Anchor FM. I would highly recommend Anchor FM, okay? And it's simple, you know? Now, as far as like recording, you know, if you think you need some fancy equipment, guess what? You really don't. Like, I have a Blue Yeti microphone when I'm in the quote-unquote studio. I have a Blue Yeti microphone, and I paid, I think, $120 for it. It's a good quality microphone, but you don't have to have an expensive microphone. In episode 1 and episode 2, I used iPhone voice memo. I use iPhone voice memo, and then an iPhone voice memo, it recorded in mono, right? So what I had to do, upload it in the computer, and I'd have to upload it and convert it into joint stereo. I think episode 3 or 5 was another episode where I had used the iPhone headphones into my laptop. I'm saying you can record. There's so many different ways you can record. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we will be right back after these short messages. Listen, guys. With so much content whizzing around out there, there's only one storytelling platform that helps you keep calm and stay informed and inspired. Flipboard. Flipboard curates the world's story so you can be smart in your work, life, and play. Choose from thousands of topics to personalize Flipboard and get the latest stories from the best publishers and experts delivered to you 24/7. Flipboard is a social news app that people have been raving about for years. Trust me. When you see the stories that you want to publish, save, or share, just tap the plus button and add them to your private or public collections. It's that simple. Used by millions of people every day, myself included, Flipboard is how people move themselves and the world forward. Get started now at flipboard.com.
You have a lot to say. Maybe you've thought, I should start a podcast. Meet Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast ever. It's a powerful mobile app and web tool that lets you record a podcast anywhere and distribute it everywhere. It's great whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out. And it's 100% free. You can record your show straight into Anchor on your phone, iPad, or the web, using any mic you want. Record alone or with friends or co-hosts anywhere in the world. You can add background music and transitions, and your listeners can send you voice messages that you can incorporate right into your next episode. If you want to produce your show using another app, you can upload your own audio directly from web or mobile and still take advantage of Anchor's totally free podcast hosting. Once your podcast is ready to publish, Anchor can automatically distribute it to every major podcast platform. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, so your listeners can hear your show wherever they want. And on the web, you can see detailed analytics about how people are listening. Plus, you'll get a great-looking profile page where anyone can listen to your podcast or subscribe to it. And if you want to ask your audience to support your work, Anchor makes it easy to collect monthly payments from the people who love your podcast and want to see it grow. You really don't need a recording studio, expensive equipment, or a bunch of technical knowledge to deal with a podcast feed. Just get started and join the diverse community of podcasters already on Anchor. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
We're back. Room 013, episode 41, podcasting 101. My voice sounds a little cracky, a little hoarse. I'm getting over a cold. But anyway, back to the subject. Episode 41, podcasting 101. It is February 1st. 2019, Friday, February 1st, 2019. Now, podcasting 101, like I said, I told you like my very, very first podcast that I did. Podcasting, choosing a topic, you have to have something to talk about in your podcast, you know what I'm saying? Choosing a topic to have something to podcast about. Best practice is not for me to say or decide what a good podcast is. You know, Rooms Are 13 is a good podcast. That's all I'm going to say. But it's open to anyone, and it's up for you and your audience. There's nobody to tell you can't. You feel me? There's no permission needed. Now, naming your podcast, what are you going to call it? The format of your podcast, will it be just for you, or you have a co-host or interviewees? How about audio versus video? There's video podcasting as well. If you decide video is where you want to go, there's some some good resources out there that you may want to check into. You know what I'm saying? Your podcast studio, it's a place where you're going to be recording. Podcast gear, software. This includes audio editing, post-processing, creating graphics, etc. Logos, the artwork for your show, recording audio, the basis of getting quality audio, you feel me? Making a podcast ready audio file. Always go with MP3. Hosting audio, you know what I mean? Where you're going to put it so people can get to it. And creating an RSS feed. That's the thing that actually makes your podcast a podcast. Now, there's many podcast websites. Matter of fact, you can make your own, get a domain. You can actually upload your stuff onto your own website. Get into iTunes. They have an iTunes podcast app. And now, for iTunes, it's not all the time. Like, let's say you get a couple listeners. They rate it, review it. The ratings are not going to show up immediately. Plus, they have podcast charts. You feel me? Now, for your podcast, what are you going to talk about? In the beginning, I just talked about anything. I really didn't have a script like boom, boom, like, okay, this is what we're doing, this segment. In the beginning, I just went on with what was on my mind at that present time and just acted like I was talking, like the microphone was one of my friends sitting in front of me, you know? But you got to know what you're going to talk about. That is really the high subjects, the best tips and advice I can give comes from my own experience. And it may sound weird or funny to someone even having a step that discusses figuring out a topic for your podcast, even though you're trying to learn how to podcast. And I told you how back in like 08, 09, when I figured out podcasting and I did all that, yada, et cetera. And yeah, here we are, episode 41. Now, naming your podcast is kind of tricky. Like, I helped this one female, part of a Facebook group, and she was trying to figure out what type of podcast, what's the name of her podcast. Actually, check her podcast out. It's called Nerd Chic. Yeah, Nerd Chic. Check her out. So yeah, she asked me for some help with the naming it, and how I came with Room 013. It was I felt like because basically it was because of my Tumblr. In the tagline on my Tumblr page, it was "Enter the Mind of a Menace," which is why when you hear the interlude, you hear, before I even had the podcast gone and rolling, I had a friend do some voice work for me, and one of the lines was "Enter the Mind of a Menace." I did not know what I was going to name the podcast at the time, but enter, when I thought about entering, it's like going into a domain, going into a realm, a different world. You know what I'm saying? That's why when this whole thing was supposed to be, let's just make it a variety of stuff. A studio. This is the studio, and this is a room. How about Room 013? I want to incorporate my name in it, but then also I didn't want to call it like Menace 013 Show, Menace 013 Podcast, The Menace Show, whatever like that, because the old podcast was Radio Menace. And now that I think about it, that was pretty generic and it was plain. But yeah, so Room 013 just came about, and the whole intro had me, if I did like video work for it, it'd be like a hotel room. You're going into a hotel room, going into a hotel, a secret floor, a room. It's not really a hotel room. It's a studio. It's a show. It's a different world. you know? Now you gotta choose your format. You gotta know if you want to do a solo show just for you, or you're gonna have co-hosts. You're gonna be doing interviews and stuff like that. And when it comes to audio versus video, I would say start with audio. It's easy, more affordable. In most cases, it'll attract bigger audience because it's easier to consume. Someone can listen while they're doing something else. They're freed from the screen, you know, and you don't have to stare at your phone. You just listen. They can do anything. Another tip I can give you about using audio versus video is to ask yourself if your topic is something that truly needs to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Can your topic be communicated through words only? And remember that the images that someone creates in their own mind are really more powerful than what you show on screen. And that's a unique part of the story. So like if you're doing an episode about comic books, yeah, video would be important, because if you have those said comics on hand, you can display and show. You could probably show off your collection. You could show different types of artwork, you know, and media. If you're doing, like, if you're talking about art, media formats and whatnot. So video and audio, they both have their pros and cons. In promotion, listen, man, you don't know how much time I spent editing video clips just to upload them on Instagram. So many times. It's crazy. Like, you have to promote yourself. Otherwise, your audience isn't going to grow. If you don't promote, your audience is not going to grow at all. You need to grow your audience. You're trying to get your viewers, your listenership up, you know? So promotion is key. Like, if you don't talk about it, no one's gonna know about it. Feel me? If you don't talk about it, no one's going to know about it. If you don't share it, no one's gonna know about it. Like, there was a time, it was like a couple of episodes that for an experiment, I didn't share at all. I was like, okay, let me just let this sit here and see what happens. And it did get some traffic. I was surprised. I was like, wow. Like, I don't know how, but it did get some traffic. It did get some plays. And I did it as an experiment. It was the lowest, but it did get some traffic. Now, versus the ones that I did promote, yeah, it got a lot of traffic, a lot of views, revenue. It was good. So it's the same. It's you gotta promote. Promotion is key. Now, if you want to have, like, software, there's many different apps you can use. So you have some gear to start recording your podcast. Now you need some software in order to do the editing and put all the audio pieces together to make it complete to your liking. Sound effects, intro music, transitions, etc. Whether you use any of those elements will be up to you, but at the very basic level, you want to cut off ends of your audio where there's going to be like dead space and silence before you start recording the actual content. You also want to start having like get out the noise, like if there's any background noise, but you should be using a filter. And examples in the case of ahs, long pauses, outside noises, etc. Me, I do know I say a lot. And a lot. I do notice that. So, like, in long pauses, you gotta watch out for that. So you could use you gotta edit those out. And sometimes it could be caused by your mouth getting out of your brain. Like, sometimes I'll be speaking really fast and then I'm like, damn, okay, what was I saying? You know, because you're just getting ahead of yourself. Those gaps in the recording will be easy to spot, and, you know, you can edit them out real quick. Beyond that, I think you might have more than one. If you have more than one person on your show, whether it's you, co-host, or the interviewee, you definitely have to do that, because sometimes when you're interviewing people, they take a long time to answer, and you can just cut the silence out. And relatively quick things you can do to give your final audio a polish: great sound and production. If you know how to master, like if you've recorded, you know someone who knows how to master and whatnot, There's editing software, there's free software, there's paid options that you get the job quality as well in terms of final quality. But there's different ways that the apps operate. Prices. For example, I use Adobe Audition. Since it's a subscription service, it's one of their pricier options. I get it as a part of my cloud bundled membership. You can also get a standalone, but I love working with Audition because it allows me to do all the things I want to do and efficiently. They got FX built in, and there's third-party FX that are easy to add on. License-free music that you can use and whatnot. So, and also Audacity too. Audacity, I've used that a couple of times. Audacity, Audition, go back and forth. I go back and forth though, so you can check those out. There's free stuff out there. Audacity's free. A lot of people use it. I know this older woman who started her podcast. She uses it, and I'm like, wow. When I first started using it, I was like confused as hell. I didn't like that cutting out and editing, like removing noise. It was just so weird for me to use when I was so used to something else. It was like so weird. Like I used to way back. You want to talk about simple, easy to use? Try NCH WavePad. That is pure bones, easy, simple as hell. It doesn't got that many effects, but matter of fact, it just does the basics. You can do your reverbs, your equalizers, your echoes, your noise reduction, just simple, pure bones, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Now your logos, before you submit it to any store or website, really, you need artwork that represents your show. You can make it yourself or have someone else do it, but you need to have a logo, something that's eye-catching, something that, boom, like, you know, is basically what you are about, what the show is about. Like for mine, the Room 013 logo, it's the font. I honestly don't remember what I used to type that. I think I used I think I did that in like Instagram. Like I used one of like the filters, like the text, you know, I think I used that on Instagram. But the picture, the background is just a black room with lights above. And I wanted it to be an empty room. I wanted it to look mysterious. So simple, boom, black room, and Room 013 on it. Now the other logo that was created with the microphone and the cursive, that one I did in like 2 minutes. Because I was like, okay, so this is the album cover art, but now I need a logo if I'm going to put it on a picture, if I'm promoting it, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, one episode's about bridges. I want to put a picture of a bridge and then the logo in the background. Like, boom, this is what the rooms of the episode bridges. You know what I'm saying? So you can do something in like Photoshop. Like you guys know, if you don't know how to make like graphics, it's pretty simple. You can pay somebody to do it. But I did mine for free. Mine on my own. You hear me? I'm on. Man, I gotta go drink some water. Anyway, episode 41, Podcast 101. We'll be right back.
The Storm. Blue Storm Energy Drink. Everyone's discovering that Blue Storm is the better tasting, fast acting, high impact energy drink that's perfect for their lifestyle. Formulated by leading nutritionists in the United States. Blue Storm Energy Drink combines the perfect amount of flavor and energy to keep you moving. The others can't say that. On the go, in the club, at work, or anytime. Get caught in the storm. Blue Storm Energy Drink. Unleash yourself.
Now, after your first, second, third, fifth episode, and going into the future, you're going to learn a few things. You're going to learn more about podcasting as you go. You're going to learn more about yourself. You're going to learn, like, from your past mistakes, if you made any, and just you just never stop improving. Never stop improving your podcast. You know what I'm saying? Don't slow down. The most important piece is to keep learning and improving your podcast as you launch each new episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, join a podcast community group. Doing so, you get, you share your podcast, you get feedback from others. You can, what's that word I'm going to say? You can collaborate. Collab. You can interview, have them interview them and whatnot. In-depth conversations with people on there. You know? Join the podcast community. Buzzsprout podcast community, the Anchor podcast community, or podcasting on Reddit. If you're comfortable with Reddit and Facebook, check out the podcasting subreddit. It's full of useful guides and ideas and discussions. And connect with your listeners. It's great to get feedback on your podcast from your listeners. They'll give you great ideas for new episodes, ways to improve your show, and encouragement also. Definitely will go a long way. And also subscribe to a few podcasts that are about podcasting. There's a lot of good podcasts out there about podcasting. Listening to the podcast is a good way to keep up with the industry news. Get advice from people who are experts in that field. A couple I know that I'm subscribed to, The Audacity to Podcast. That's by Daniel J. Lewis. And Ask the Podcast Coach. That's Dave Jackson. So check out Ask the Podcast Coach by Dave Jackson and The Audacity to Podcast by Daniel J. Lewis. If you want to find one that's tailored to you, don't know what type of show you got going on. Harry Duran, Podcast Junkies. Harry Duran, Podcast Junkies. He put together like a couple episodes in a list of all of what podcasting is about. So now, next question is for you guys: are you ready? Are you ready to start your podcast? It's a growing medium that makes it easy to reach your audience while it's growing super quickly. There is still a ton of opportunity to launch a podcast before the market becomes too competitive. You know what I'm saying? Podcasting is easy. It's really easy. But you don't want to start too late. I mean, can you really start too late? No, not really, right? But it gets competitive. Super, super competitive. Like, it's just super competitive, too competitive. You know what I mean? So I told you a couple of steps of making your podcast, developing your podcast concept, to recording, and steps to improve once you've launched your show. So now, what are you waiting for? What exactly are you waiting for? It's time for your voice to be heard. It's time for your voice to be heard.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up, and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
Listen, guys. With so much content whizzing around out there, there's only one storytelling platform that helps you keep calm, stay informed, and inspired. Flipboard. Flipboard curates the world's stories so you can be smart in your work, life, and play. Choose from thousands of topics to personalize Flipboard and get the latest stories from the best publishers and experts delivered to you 24/7. Flipboard is a social news app that people have been raving about for years. Trust me. When you see the stories that you want to publish, save, or share, just tap the plus button and add them to your private or public collections. It's that simple. Used by millions of people every day, myself included, Flipboard is how people move themselves and the world forward. Get started now at flipboard.com.
Shush! Arby's has an announcement to make. Triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, brown sugar bacon. Triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, triple thick, brown sugar bacon. Sprinkle, sprinkle, smell, taste 3 times thicker. Sprinkle, sprinkle, smell, taste. Arby's, we have the meats.
Room 013.
All right, people. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening. Episode 41 of Room 013 podcast. Hey, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. No listening emails today, but Room 013 podcast at gmail.com is the email to send them in. Room 013 podcast at gmail.com. Follow on Twitter, Instagram, like the Facebook page. I will check in with you guys on the PlayStation 4 community. So on the PlayStation 4, just look up Room 013. Alright? Once again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And shout out to the starving artist. I said artist. Starving guitarist. Mike A. Shout out to him. Also, shout out to my boy Killer Matt. Anyway, Room 013, one thing for tuning in. I am out. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend.
Room 013. Room 013.